Just look at that magnificent beach. Nestled on this steep bank, the lovely stream in the bottom. So this is an old packway, I guess, a route for pack horses, cattle, sheep, a drove-in road. There's various names through them around Britain. As you can tell from my accent, I'm English. More Northern English, to be fair. And the name of this channel is going to be Just Plant Trees, because that's really what I'm aiming for with this information online, is to really encourage people to think about the natural environment. And really what we can do to help. I'd like it to be a debate, a healthy debate. I really don't want it for negativity. Negative comments, fine, but let's try and look at answers. We're going to discuss these things and use these fantastic resources we've got at hand now to communicate with each other far better than any time in human history. The iPhone and the modern computer. Let's do some good with it. I've come up here to look at this because it's very unusual. And the title, Just Plant Trees, it's really been discussed recently with my wife. She came up with the idea. And obviously we've heard all about the Just Stop Oil campaign and the campaign that people have gone to prison for recently. Professional people, working people, people that just care about what's happening and realise now that there has to be more than just left up to governments and wealthy entrepreneurs, because it's not worked and it isn't working. So if you've got something to do with your life and you've got some time on your hands, this is the subject. This is really the subject. I'm not just going to have these monologues. I'll try my very best to bring in all sorts of information, but I'm not going to script them. I'm going to think prior to the video about the topic, and then I'll put it on the description. Obviously, if you like what you see and what you hear, let's give it a thumbs up and a like, please, and a subscribe if possible. There's lots of good channels out there at the moment. There really is. People with far more background knowledge than me, and some people doing some wonderful things. As always, there's one or two charlatans perhaps who are trying to make money from you. That's not my aim. I'm here to just spread some information, spread some ideas, and get people talking about it. My background, I'm an environmental student. I'm still studying my degree, so it's a real interest of mine. And I'd really like it to be shared and involved with as many people as we can. Lots of different topics I'd love to discuss. I'd love comments back. I'd love them to be interesting and positive, not overly gushy. I'm not one big on sentiment, big on facts and information and help. As you see, my dogs will travel with me while I do this this study. And the information about Just Plant Trees is it's one big area that needs to be discussed, balanced out with food production for the future. So those two main things: how much land we're giving over to food production, what we eat. It's fairly obvious stuff really, this, but giving a forum to talk about it with other people is what this is about. And then the balance between what land we use and what we eat compared to what else we plant, to offset the horrendous level of carbon that we've spewed into the atmosphere since the Industrial Revolution, led by my country, England. So if you want to look at your history, it's there, it's all there, written down, and people just didn't know it. But people have known it for the last 30 years plus. They have known it, and take my hat off to the brave scientists who've put their lives at risk to bring us this information. Like a journalist, like somebody that really has to report bad news. This is what they've been doing. How demoralising must that be for them, to actually bring us that news that our home, our planet, is in real threat and danger. So if we really value wild areas, wild spaces, which really, in my opinion, should be everywhere. They should really be everywhere, in your garden, on your streets, in your shopping centres, round your shopping centres. You know, there's an awful lot more we could be doing to offset this problem and to make our lives far more pleasant. And this general, just broad overview of what I'm talking about now, we can go into more discussion depending on what people want to talk about, and that's the beauty again of these sorts of channels sharing information. It depends what people want to talk about. Oh, he's out. I may stop occasionally because I'm usually out with my dogs, and you'll get to know me. So this area again, going up this old roving track, was a prime example because one of the issues really come to want to talk about and get involved in, get people involved in, is the volume of land that is sort of left over to local authorities, local councils to maintain. This isn't a prime example because I don't know who owns this, but it is a public footpath through here. And then there are fields either side of this valley. However, and again I'll go on to this in other videos if people want to look at this, but I really want to, is the volume of land that they just have to cut and maintain for safety at the side of roads can equate potentially to about 500,000 acres around England alone. So if that stat is right, and it's from a sort of highways authority website, it's a lot of land, 500,000 acres, which is often just laid down to grass. And grass is fantastic. It harbours all sorts, roadside verges that aren't sprayed anymore, and they often aren't because of pollution and lack of money by local authorities. They're just cut, but they still have to be cut, which is a big issue for climate change. Huge big mowers, I've done it myself, huge big industrial mowers, pruners. Things have to be kept tidy, of course they do, and safe and tidy. However, there's an awful lot of that land just stood doing nothing. Could be growing, you know, we could be growing an awful lot of tree, we really could, on these areas.